Locomobile Model 30 liters Type Baby Tonneau 1911. Few would argue the greatest pre-World War I automobile in existence is the 1907 Locomobile Old 16. This 120 horsepower Loco was the first American car to be victorious in the Vanderbilt Cup race in Long Island, besting a field of the finest factory cars from around the globe. Old 16 survives to this day in its original condition and is the rolling epitome of the heroic era of motor racing. Even without this racing success, Locomobile would still have been regarded as one of the finest cars of the period, made to uncompromising standards of quality and without concern for cost. Locomobile's most famous feature that exemplified the quality of its construction was its solid bronze crankcase. Locomobile originally rose to prominence producing steam cars to the Stanley Brothers design. These small carriages were the best-selling American automobiles of the time. Recognizing that the future would not be paved with steam, Locomobile hired the brilliant designer Andrew Riker to design a new line of gasoline automobiles. A new factory was established in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and 1905 saw the first gasoline, Locomobile's literature used this spelling, range introduced. Riker's designs were heavily influenced by the European manufacturers of the day. These new gas locomobiles were designed with performance and speed in mind, taking from Europe the panhard system of the engine up front, transmission in the middle, and the drive at the rear wheels. Powering these cars was a lovely T-head four-cylinder motor. The T-head engine offered excellent flow characteristics and allowed the builder to use very large valves. All of these early models drove the power through dual-chain drive rear ends. By 1908, a new, more advanced mid-size offering was needed to fill out the line. This need was answered with the Model 30. The Model 30 had all the quality and design innovation of the big models but in a lighter, easier to manage size. The idea was to produce a car with a similar power-to-weight ratio of the large Locomobiles. The 4.5-inch x 4.5-inch, 286 cubic inch T-head engine put out 38.5 horsepower. The square dimensions of the motor, combined with the four-cylinder configuration, made for a smooth free-revving engine. New in this model was the driving of the power through a shaft drive rear end. The system was now perfected and suitable for high-powered sporting cars. Auto Trade Journal reported on the road characteristics of the Model 30 in 1909 with such favorable remarks as the Locomobile Model 30 runabout handles to perfection and the car can do 55 miles per hour with ease. Apparently, the Model 30's power was too much for the rainy conditions that day, as Hugh Dillner reported that the hind wheels tried to pass the front ones as soon as even half power was applied. While the Model 30L may have been slotted below the bigger Model 48M, it was no slouch. Offering a variety of factory coachwork, including a formal limousine and a touring car, the most sporting offering by far was the Baby, or Toy, Ja. With low-slung bodywork and a sporting stance, it was clearly the coachwork to choose for those seeking adventure. While the early history of this example is undocumented, it is one of only a small handful of Model 30 liters Type Baby Tonneaus still around today. Restored at least 20 years ago, it is believed to have been in Europe for some time before being bought from Belgium by an Ontario, Canada collector. When purchased in the early 2000s, it was said to have been a nicely presented car that only required minor refurbishment. Acquired by the Clem and Mary Lane collection about a decade ago, it was shown at the 2016 Keeneland Concord Elegance but has otherwise been used sparingly. Fitted with an auxiliary cloth and plastic windscreen, the screen can be removed for a truly open-air motoring experience. Nearly identical to the Locomobile Toyota in Bill Harrah's collection, this car is certain to be great fun and a real attention-getter at any HCCA touring event.